Let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? This is not so much a phone as much as it's a device meant to be viewed from space. But at $140, can this behemoth actually deliver? This is Yusuf from MakeUseOf.com, and let's find out if the UHANS Max 2 is worthy of your Christmas bonus. UHANS have really made an effort in the unboxing experience department. I've personally never seen a phone package like this. The device comes with a pre-applied standard screen protector, folio case, charging brick, USB cable, OTG cable, and another tempered glass screen protector and SIM tool. Full marks. Taking a closer look at the Leviathan, we have the headphone jack on the top. Thank you, UHANS. And what looks like two speakers on the bottom, but only one of which is actually a speaker. Presumably the other is for the microphone. On the front and back is a camera config that's another first for me. Both the front and the rear of the device house a dual 13 megapixel and 2 megapixel setup, which gives a total of 4 cameras on the device. More on these later. On the right we have the SIM tray, volume rocker and power lock button. The capacitive home button on the front has a built-in fingerprint reader, and finally the bottom of the screen is where you'll find the on-screen navigation bar. At the heart of the Max 2 we have the MediaTek MT6750T, which is an octa-core CPU. There is an astounding 4 GB of RAM and 64 GB of internal storage, of which around 54 gigs is usable. This can be expanded with a micro SD card with support of up to 128 GB. And finally, powering this behemoth is a 4300 mAh battery. Check out our article online if you're interested in the benchmarking scores. Specs aside then, does gluing 4 cameras onto this phone enhance the picture quality? Well, no. I get that they're trying to compete with flagship devices by mimicking a portrait or SLR mode, and having a phone with 4 cameras does get your product noticed. But all of this results in the same foca or fake bokeh effect that is pretty useless. Just give me a single camera with an upgraded sensor and cut out all the unnecessary bells and whistles. I suspect this also adds to how slow the focus speed is on the Max 2, which is sometimes really slow. You can probably retain the same price point and give us consumers a much better overall experience with just a single camera setup. Anyway, ranting aside, what do I think of this phone? I honestly think this phone has the potential to be a game changer. At this price point, hardly anything comes close. The only phone that I've seen that compares is the ZTE-Z, but even then, that has a smaller display, half the RAM, and half the storage. The Max 2's massive 6.44-inch display has good viewing angles thanks to its IPS technology, and colors were not bad. My only complaint being that it's not exactly the brightest display, so in direct sunlight it may be a little difficult to see. That being said, having a phablet for media consumption is pretty awesome. I found it great for reading books, catching up on my news feed, and because of its native 1080p display, videos fit perfectly on the screen. Phablets are also excellent for multitasking, as there's plenty of real estate to go around. Coming back to the cameras then, these aren't going to win any DxOMark awards, but when used in single camera mode, they're actually not bad. On the rear camera, colors were vibrant and pictures had plenty of details. Dynamic range could have been better, but again, this is a $140 device. The front-facing camera isn't perfect, but it's definitely better than some of the other phones that I've tested. Even in low light, the front camera didn't perform too badly. But bear in mind, the max video resolution on the rear camera is maxed at 720p. Performance-wise, the MediaTek 6750T doesn't do too badly. Relative to a flagship device, however, you may notice a slight delay when launching apps, but it really isn't that far off. Having 4 GB of RAM makes multitasking a cinch, and the device kept many of my recent apps open and ready for use. Now, while they do advertise a day and a half out of the 4300 mAh battery, I found this difficult, with me personally only getting about a day or around 6 hours of screen on time. This could be due to the MediaTek 6750T not being the most efficient chip and the battery having to power this massive display. Gaming on the Max 2 was awesome due to the larger display, and all the games that I threw at it ran relatively well without a hitch. Speaking of the larger display, media consumption on this device is thoroughly enjoyable. The native 1080p means that Full HD videos from your favorite YouTube channel, which is obviously MakeUseOf, takes up the entire area of the screen without any letterboxing. The extra real estate also means the Max 2 can take advantage of Android 7.0's split screen mode with ease. On the subject of Android 7.0, there's a host of customization options and features available for your Max 2. You can rearrange the navigation bar to swap the position of the back and recent apps buttons, which makes it easy if you're left-handed. You can double-click the power button to bring up the camera, not to mention an assortment of gestures at your disposal, like double tapping the screen to wake up your phone. In an age where it has become acceptable for manufacturers to charge over $1,000 for a phone, UHANS definitely has the potential to address that. This really is a mid-range performing device with the price tag of a budget one. The only issue other than the cameras you may have is with the sheer size of the Max 2. But even then, the design and materials used in its construction actually make it quite comfortable to hold. Bear in mind, to wield this device, you will require two hands. If you don't have the budget for both a smartphone and a tablet may be the answer. And hey, all this money you save on buying this device can go towards a pair of trousers with larger pockets. I should probably stay away from comedy. If you enjoyed this video, give us the thumbs up. That other one works pretty well too. Check the links in the description for the full review on our website. This has been Yusuf from MakeUseOf.com. And don't forget to enter the giveaway to win a Max 2 for yourself.